Okej, mamy jakieś duże informacje dotyczące The Last of Us 3 i przygotował je The Bomb, także zapraszam do niego. Lecimy w takim razie. Zobaczmy, tu mamy wstępniak pewnie. Okej, ciekawe co się tu wydarzy.
Hi there, ladies and gentlemen. We've got a pretty big video for you guys and gals today. So, as you guys have known the past 3 years, yes, we just hit the 3
Przez 3
anniversary of
lata?
Last of Us Part 2 last month. So it has been
O, to była rocznica jakaś, tak? The Last of Us.
3 years since The Last of Us Part 2. It kind of puts a lot in perspective. In these past 3 years, we've gotten a lot of leaks, a lot of rumors, a lot of discussion, a lot of even talk from Neil Druckmann on The Last of Us.
Bardzo dużo przecieków, tak? No okej. Ja szczerze mówiąc nie byłem na bieżąco, jeżeli o to chodzi, więc tym bardziej się dowiem tutaj bardzo dużo rzeczy.
Part 3. But today becomes a big day because this is probably the most substantial rumor / leak we have gotten in regards to The Last of Us Part 3 in these last 3 years. I would have to say this is a huge leak / rumor, and it hints at what we could be seeing with the game. I'm gonna
O, to nawet to mnie cieszy, słuchajcie.
go through everything with the leak, who said it, what it's about, what I think about it, do I think it's true or not, and all of that, and some discussion around it. But firstly, I want to catch you guys up on The Last of Us Part 3. We've made a lot of videos on it, so I'm going to give you a quick little breakdown what's happened the last 3 years to lead up to this. If you guys do enjoy this,
Czyli
please make sure
będziemy
to drop
mieli
a like,
podsumowanie.
subscribe if you
Fajnie,
do.
fajnie.
Let's go over 2,500 likes on this video. Be sure that notification bell, have it set to all so you don't miss any of my videos. And again, join that 30% of people that are subscribed. About almost 100,000 people that have the bell set to all. This begins 2.5 years ago.
2,5 roku temu.
Confirmed an outline was written for The Last of Us Part 3. Take a listen.
Okej. Czyli jak widzicie mamy to potwierdzone.
I don't know how much I want to reveal. Hallie and I did write an outline for a story that we're not making. But I hope one day can see the light of day that explores a little bit what happens after this game, but we'll see.
One of the first major signs that The Last of Us Part 3 may inevitably come. But again, it's 2.5 years ago. Lots happened between now and when he said that statement. So if we go to more recently, about a year-ish ago, maybe even less, 6 months-ish, the leaks start really pouring out for this game. And these are from credible sources.
O, okej, wiarygodne źródła, jest dużo lików, zobaczmy.
So Viewer Anon, credible movie insider.
Viewer Anon, czyli to jest gościu, który jest insiderem i o dużej skuteczności, tak? Czyli w większości potwierdziło się to, co mówi.
Now is gone to the game adjacent rates. Tweeted back in December 13th of 2022. I'm not watching anything so
Pod koniec 2022.
Dr. Uckman's next game is The Last of Us Part 3, which is currently in production at Naughty Dog. Now we do
O, czyli to już było, że w produkcji jest.
remember that Neil Druckmann is on his Twitter bio for the last 2 years-ish has had director of that future game, or putting that future game, because he puts The Last of Us, which is a game he's directed part 1 and 2, Uncharted 4, and that future game. This future game, according to Viewer Anon, is The Last of Us Part 3.
Nieźle.
So this project that Viewer Anon believes The Last of Us Part 3 Neil Druckmann's doing, Neil Druckmann talked about it at the end of December when he was talking about before The Last of Us HBO had its reveal. His next project he revealed was a game that was structured more like a TV show than anything else Naughty Dog had made, for which he had taken a highly unusual step. He wasn't writing the script alone or with a single partner, he was assembling a writer's room. And Neil replied to this on his Twitter saying, "I'm sure no one will misconstrue what this means. Spoiler, it's about making our games in an even more collaborative manner. Stoked to show you our projects as soon as we can." Likewise, Druckmann cannot reveal whether a rumored Part 3 game from Naughty Dog is coming, but says, "I think there's more story to tell." You see, there's been a lot of stuff, guys. A lot.
No tak, no bardzo dużo tych przecieków jest. Nawet potwierdzonych, no ale co, 2,5 lata, prawie 3 lata i co dalej bez
Behind the scenes at Naughty Dog, as you guys have seen in my past videos, things have not been looking good. Recently, we got the news of The Last of Us multiplayer game internally was delayed. We got all the issues of people being moved to different projects. but all the Naughty Dog dev is reassuring people that they're cooking, that there's something coming in store with that. And then also getting the news from Naughty Dog that they're working on a single-player project. It is confirmed that there is a single project
Okej, czyli wychodzi jakaś gierka na singla. Okej.
coming, and we're gonna get news on it pretty
Potwierdzili to.
soon. Recently, at the
Naughty.
10-year anniversary, Neil Druckmann literally said, and I quote, "For all of us at Naughty Dog, thank you for an unforgettable first 10 years of The Last of Us. Much more to come."
O,
The
czyli
Last of Us.
wiele więcej będzie w przyszłości.
I've caught you up. Here's the new leak / rumor.
Okej, mamy
Before
nowy
I get
leak.
into it, please take it with a big grain of salt, as again with some of those other leaks I showed
A, czyli co, będzie... Mamy sól przygotować? Oj, to niedobrze.
earlier. Nothing has been 100% confirmed
Aha,
in
100% nie
regards
jest.
to what is going to be shown in this exact leak. Let's get straight into it.
Dawaj, dawaj,
Started
budujesz
this
tak
morning.
napięcie.
Now, you're looking at this, you're like, what the hell is this? Daniel Reichtman, better known as Daniel RPK. Now, this is someone that, in May, had tweeted The Last of Us Part 3 is in production. Another leaker like Viewer Anon. But they just tweeted today The Last of Us Part 3, and it links to their Patreon page. But in this Patreon post, a bombshell, to say the least. The Last of Us Part 3, some Last of Us Part 3 info. Part of the plot will be about a group of scavengers.
Co? Okej, czyli to jest The Last of Us Part 3, będzie jakby ten zarys fabuły. Scavengersi będą? Okej.
About a group of scavengers
No, okej.
surviving on the outskirts of a post-apocalyptic city.
Czyli którzy przetrwali na obrzeżach jakiegoś
crammed into a
miasta.
Victorian house that serves as their base.
Mhm.
They are looking to cast these roles. Lucas, male, affable, but develops a relationship with another young scavenger and will have a turn that shows his dark side.
Okej. Lukas, facet. Okej, the relationship with another young scavenger and will have turned shows. Okej, czyli będzie jak jakąś czarną jego stronę pokaże. Ciekawe. Okej, ciekawe.
Mason, male, a
Mason,
former soldier.
były
When
żołnierz.
Val gets put in charge, Mason must choose between his loyalty to Ezra and the house. Val, female, leader of the group. Ezra, male, wants to take over the house from Val.
Okej, czyli tu będą jakieś telenowele, Boże święty.
Gracie, female, 18 to 25. No other details on this.
Czyli mamy jakby postacie już tutaj w tym The Last of Us 3. Ciekawe.
Now, when people saw this first, they thought, oh wait, why is Ellie not mentioned? Why is Abby not mentioned?
Nie wspomniano o Eli i Abby.
Well, we have to remember, if you guys remember the plot of part 2 pretty well, you know pretty much everyone died or was pretty much gone. So what I'm thinking they're going to be doing with part 3, if this, again, take it with a grain of salt, if this ends up being true, because I think regardless, part 3 will have a lot of new characters, it would make sense that these are probably more minor to semi-major characters, because I still do believe Ellie / Abby will be the playable character or main.
Okej. Czyli to nie są jakby główne postacie, tylko takie mniej, jakby to powiedzieć, główną będzie pewnie dalej Eli albo Abby, albo będziemy sterować tak jak wcześniej różnymi postaciami.
JJ if he does grow up. Our good friend viewer Anon, he replied to this.
Znaczy, no, będziemy widzieć też, chodziło mi o perspektywę, tak, innych postaci.
Look, it's early, story details are tweaked and everything is potentially up in the air to be changed. But I assure you, I have heard Ellie is at least as important in The Last of Us Part 3 as she was in Part 2.
Aha, czyli Eli jednak jest ważna, tak jak była w drugiej części, czyli tak na takiej samej zasadzie to zrobią w trzeciej.
Oh my god, they're not gonna have Ellie or Abby. At least we know for a fact Ellie will have as major of a role in Part 3 as she did in Part 2, according to what he said. Now, someone said, that's very questionable. And he replied, all I can say is I've been very vocal for quite a while. The Last of Us Part 3 is in development, as you guys have seen by the tweets I've shown you. And others are finally noticing. I mean, I've noticed from the beginning because I've been following this. So, viewer not, if you see this video, yes, I've been noticing. I'm not doubting you because you have not missed. Major filming is happening this year. So according to him, The Last of Us Part 3 filming it's gonna begin this year.
Okej, czyli w tym roku mają się główne
Wow.
prace?
That's a big bombshell, don't you think? And someone
Nieźle.
said you mean motion capture. And they said, however you define it, they are rolling cameras and recording audio as well.
Kręcą kamerami i nagrywają dźwięk? Oj kurde, to już nie będzie tak... Czyli ta gra będzie jak serial?
This viewer 9 must have a source in Naughty Dog, because if it is true, then my goodness, this is huge. That means Last of Us Part 3, like I said, it's probably gonna be 2026, 2027.
Okej, 2026-7. Jezu, tak długo?
Like I've been telling you all, because they still got a ways to go, it looks like, because that, you know, the mocap and everything. But again, could also mean maybe it's a year or two away. We don't know if his next game or not, or how far they are
O
through it.
kurde.
But great sign. Now, again, is there a chance this Mr. Daniel RPK could maybe have his source? Maybe his source is wrong, and maybe this is related to the multiplayer game, because this could also
No tak, no może być źródło błędne, tak? Albo był gościu ściemnia.
fit the multiplayer game's plot. Why? Because the multiplayer game has a confirmed story with a group of new characters.
Aha. Czyli co, może to być gra wieloosobowa? I też jest tu grupa nowych postaci, które wcześniej widzieliśmy w tym
in San
filmie.
Francisco.
Opis ich.
The multiplayer game is not canceled. I know people are going to constantly comment that because of all the bad news that's been, but it's not canceled. It's still in development. No matter what changes that Naughty Dog's doing after that assessment from Bungie. Now, one other point I really didn't talk about was the plot description. Group of scavengers surviving on the outskirts of a post-apocalyptic city crammed into a Victorian house that serves as their base. So, a new group. That's what it seems like it's really going to be centered on. And these characters, Lucas, Mason, Val, Ezra, and Grace, are going to be the big new characters, it looks like.
Mhm.
I wouldn't say the main characters, but they're going to be the side character cast, along with Ellie, Abby, whoever's going to be playable and stuff. Maybe one of them will even be playable. I don't know. Now, this Daniel RPK, again, he's a movie insider, just like Vietnam, but he's gone into the video game adjacent space, and he's got a pretty sturdy repertoire in regards to blockbusters in that. And he dropped leaks correctly about Spider-Man No Way Home and The Flash. Now, let me know down below in the comments if you think this description's for the multiplayer game, because it's very likely this could be for the multiplayer game too, because I mean, it really, if you think...
No właśnie, i teraz nie wiemy, czy to jest jakby odnosi się do singla, do trójki, czy do wersji multiplayer.
About the multiplayer game, this would fit it pretty perfectly. But again, you also have to know Part 3 is going to have a big new cast, because a lot of the side characters in Part 2 are either dead or they got issues, so...
No tak, no w sumie muszą być wiele nowych postaci się pojawić w trójce, bo większość tych starych nie żyje z dwójki.
I mean, let's be honest. Ellie has pretty much abandoned everybody. Abby pretty much abandoned everybody. They're pretty much all by themselves. Abby has left, but Ellie's alone. Will Ellie go back to Jackson? That's a big if. So, if you guys do enjoy this, it took me a while to compile up all the old information, get all this new information together. I'll throw a link to the article down below in the description where you guys can read it. Again, shout out to Daniel RPK for this info. Again, please take...
Kurka, słuchajcie, no to tak naprawdę wiemy, że nic nie wiemy. No są jakieś spekulacje, ale jak co czas, no to większość rzeczy to raczej czas pokaże niż mamy coś. No cóż, będę was informował na bieżąco, ale no dzięki uprzejmości właśnie tego youtubera mamy przyjemność teraz się dowiedzieć mniej więcej czegoś. Także do zobaczenia.